Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm sitting here. I don't even know if this thing on. I really don't. I ain't worked with this mobilized thing in a minute, and audio cannot record. I don't know if I got to record this first and then go back and put it on. Well, it's counting down, so we shall see. I was sitting here, and I just started feeling today the urge to speak things that's on my spirit, because I had experienced some things spiritually attack me, and I could only speak about mental abuse because I experienced it as a child. And I was looking at a video of a good man who was talking about business and money and the people in power, and and you got to sacrifice to get here and to get that and to have this and to have that. And it triggered me, because that's the same journey I'm on right now, trying to understand our lives without the spinning around on the hamster wheel. What we fail to understand as a people, we are here. We are in this avatar. We made a spiritual contract before we came here. And we are to experience ourselves. And I think this will never, because it wasn't meant to work for us to spin around all of our lives working for things that we die and leave here. This work world will never work. But if we work to have the things that is necessary to live a human life, it could work. But once we come from away from the experience of being human and the necessities, and we start getting into the desires of what we would like to have, this is where all of the problems, all of the mayhem, all of the confusion, because no man is in. No one can ever have anything without another person. You can't do nothing without another person. Even your thoughts. You can't even have your thoughts without somebody else being in them. You see, we were meant for each other. And we keep trying to do it without each other. Or we're trying to use each other. Or we're trying to leave each other. But it will work only when we decide that we want to have the exact same amount, same things, you see, on the same level as the next person. When everyone decides that I don't need to have more for me to be more, I'm okay with having the same amount as Dick and Harry, Sue, Mary, and Jane. I'm okay with that. You see, that's the selfish spirit that desires to have more. But a selfless spirit says, I'm okay. I'm okay. Where did we get that thought? Having more from? Where did we get the idea of, this is not enough, I need the next thing. This is not enough, I want the next thing. This one is not enough, I need extra one. Where did that come from? Somebody planted the seed. You see, somebody planted the seed. And until we seek ourselves, it's about seeking yourself. And the more you seek yourself, the more you see yourself, then you will see what's outside of yourself. And what's outside of yourself, when you're seeking yourself and you don't like yourself, you're not going to like the things outside of yourself. And that's why we should work on self, loving ourselves. Another thing is, everybody keep on trying to have businesses, and everybody trying to be rich, and everybody trying to get the next business, and everybody trying to do something to get something. And get it for what? for self gratification. Nobody's getting the business so they can make sure everybody has a roof over their head, everybody has something to eat, everyone has clothes on their back. Everyone is getting into this business and want to be an operator and an owner and a entrepreneur and a CEO. They just want to have it so that they can have more. And until we realize having more is to benefit somebody else, not ourselves. Because if we have what we need, we don't need to have more than what we need. Because to have more means that it's to give someone who does not have. Nobody is teaching the next person how to get to the thing that they are desiring to get. They want to use the people. Let's just use this as an example. I want to start a business of selling cakes. I don't know everything about cakes. I just know what I know about cakes. I can't make the cakes, sell the cakes. You get what I'm saying? Deliver the cakes. I'm going to need people to help me. But when we hire people, we just want to hire them for their energy. We don't want to hire them for their mind, heart, and spirit. See, we don't allow people to contribute to our business, whatever it is we're trying to do in this life. Nobody wants anybody to put their energy into what they are creating, and that's why it never works. Because they fear that someone may know a little bit more, someone may be brighter, someone may be smarter. But if they are, then you give them what they're deserving of for their energy. But people think that they can take your energy to benefit them. And that's why nothing is not working. There's always going to be someone who knows something that you don't know, and vice versa. That's why we need each other, because nobody knows everything. And if you have more people on your team that can benefit a business, why not include them? Why not pop as 2 CEOs, 3 CEOs, 4 CEOs, and put the minds together? Have a meeting of the minds, you see? And then those meeting of the minds can make this business expand, and you can give more people jobs. And it can expand and more people more jobs. You see, and that's how everybody have. But when you have a business and you want to keep your feet on somebody's neck and you want to keep somebody's support, and because you're intimidated by somebody's wisdom, knowledge, or their understanding, it's why the business won't succeed. Because, see, the person is not free to be. And that's what our problem is. We're not allowing each other to be free. If somebody comes into your business and they know more, or they can add something to your business that can make your business flourish, why be intimidated by that? Give them what they're deserving of energetically for putting your business where it could be to flourish. So until we start looking at the selfish spirit that we all carry, the program, so many programs are in our unconscious mind. So many spirits are attached to our soul. It's why we cannot spread love, peace, and harmony, because we have concept of life twisted. Life is about living. Life is about unity. Life is about love. Life is about sharing. Nobody's promised to tomorrow. Nobody's promised to the next minute. And we continue to take our lives for granted. Chasing the world, suppressing people, keeping our feet on each other's neck, holding each other back spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially, physically. If you know more, give that person the tool. See, people are afraid if I give them what I have, they're going to take it and do more than I can do with it. But again, this for us. Nothing is for us. Everything that we have is meant. We only get to use these things for a period of time because we're just journeying through, you know. So I got triggered by that because all of this buy, sell, trade is causing us so much problem, and we can't even see it. If we just had a simple life, simple, we could have so much less stress, but people can't even see that. The other thing is the big thing that's out. Excuse me. I haven't talked in a few days. The I think it started last Friday, as a matter of fact. I was having some spiritual warfare in here because I know about mental manipulation. I experienced it, and that was the way for me to see that I was intelligent, and I had a lot of messages to give, but I had to learn how to deliver the message because I established aggressiveness. As a matter of fact, you can hear my throat chakra. I'm trying to clear it up. My throat chakra was suppressed in the process of shutting down my mentality, and it made me start being aggressive. And once I learned how, which was just a few years ago, to speak with humility, to get the point across, I started understanding this weapon, outside of myself and how it is uh, triggered me. So last week, I don't forgot what started it off. I forgot exactly what it was, but I seen it for what it was. It was a lot of mind games that this man was playing with. Well, I'm not gonna say he was playing it because everybody's put in place to show us ourselves how we can grow and evolve. And so he was used to for me to see how triggered I would get when someone came for me mentally. And this is what I want to share from my growth. That when you listen to exactly what a person is saying to you, you will know what type of energies they carry, what type of experiences they experience, what kind of patterns they have, what kind of programs and pathology that runs in their life experience as a child. And I want to remember so bad because I didn't have no intentions on touching that subject. I was coming here to talk about us and as a people that we cannot make life about buy, sell, and trade. That's not why we're here to buy, sell, and trade. We're here to grow and evolve the soul, to elevate our spiritual connection, all there is, to heal past spiritual wounds, to heal past spiritual traumas. We're not here to buy, sell, and trade. And this is why we're not evolved. This is why there is a spirit over us, even with the God, the Jesus story. It brings so much wedges in us. That's something that's personal. And I just sometimes it's triggering to me because of the spell that's been put on us. How I just keep saying, Holy Spirit, how can a mighty person, a benevolent person, not be back now? Why would the Most High loving God allow people to suffer when they don't even understand why they're suffering? Because a spell was put on us. A spell, a literal spell was put on masses of people. Because if you take a child and they come here with amnesia and you send them to school at an early age, they're going to learn what they're going to learn, which is what is taught in the school. And if the system is set up for us to be a certain way when coming out of school, how can you fight what you don't know? You see? Even all of this talk about the food that we eat, the water that they're poisoning us. And I think about it, I try to cut back in places that I can cut back. What I find about meat is not that we can't eat meat. I don't think that meat is bad. I think that because meat comes from animals and animals is our lower nature, it is triggering to the carnal nature, and it puts us in a space because we're just spiritual creatures. And so if we're feeding ourselves too much of the animal, you see, an animal lives in the wild. They are in survival mode, and you see what I'm saying? They live in the bestiality of life. outside, shitting on the ground, pissing, eating, smelling each other poo. And when we take on these animals, we take on their instincts. And that's why I think we should be mindful of how much meat intake we take in. Because meat does make us angry. It's the beast part of us. That's why I left it alone. And it gives us the spirit because those animals who die that we eat, we have that spirit. They died of fear. So we take on those things. We don't understand the things that we're doing to ourselves because no one is teaching the correct things. You see? And that's why it's about learning more and more and more of things beneficial to our spiritual growth. Because what they're teaching in the school is not beneficial to all of us because people go to school for 12 years. They do 4 more years of college, sometimes 8 years of college. And they still go into the work world where you got to buy, sell, and trade. You see? And it's about money and it's about working and it's about depleting your life force energy. But it's not building your life force energy. You see? It defeats the purpose what we do. Come in this world, go to school, work, and die. I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. But until we look at our lives and value our lives, where no one can show us if we don't want to look at it. No one will be able to show us if we don't look at it. Why do we need these things? Why do we want these things? We can see that none of this is for us to keep. And we can sit here and say that we're trying to leave a legacy. Even the rich, they're trying to leave a legacy, a generational financial background. What if our children don't want to do what we are sweating for, you see, slaving for this business, and our children don't want to do that? See, we can't make people be us. I can go and start a business. Anybody can go and start a business if they put their mind, heart, and spirit to it. But that does not mean our children want to do what we desire to do or what we chose to do. This is where the problem is coming in. We're being programmed to behave a certain way when if we allow everyone to be free to experience life in whichever way fits the person who has experienced the life. I don't desire. I just want to have a roof over my head, food to eat. I don't have a problem with working, but I don't want to spend to accumulate the finer things of life because it's not worth it. Peace of mind is so, so wonderful. A peace of mind. So not to worry about bill collectors bothering you. You see? Trying to reach the quota. I don't have enough, so now I got to work more hours. And I want this next thing. And oh, this is prettier. And I want that one. And I want this one. I want that one. Because we want more, is why there is a power over us that controls. And the thing is, everything is spiritual that is happening to us. We are creating these things in our mind's eye. Everything that we're experiencing is a spiritual experience. And once somebody creates something, they can persuade others. See, because that's why I was triggered by this man, which reminded me of other people. Everybody is coming to say, this what I'm selling, this what I got, look at this, come do this, come do that. But nobody is telling anybody to look within themselves, to know themselves. I cannot stop saying, I've been saying this for 2 years now. 2023. It'll be 3 years. I've been saying the same thing. We are taking life for granted. We're taking for granted. We think that we got to wake up every day and be able to see. We wake up every day and be able to hear and walk and talk, and stuff happens so quickly. It happens so quickly. And have all of this stuff for what? Because if nobody could fit my clothes, and I got all of these clothes, and I done spun around, and who wants to put on people clothes? Because people have spirits, you see. But again, I'm just trying to open up people's mind. Right now, I guess I'm just ranting. I have been quiet for a few days, and that kind of triggered me a little bit. And sometimes I'm ready to get off of planet Earth, and because I don't see the purpose of it. Because if nobody's not going to wake up to see life for what it is to seek yourself. Your life is to seek yourself, the God in you. And that's the thing. I was talking about I keep on being triggered by that. I cannot see an omnipresence. You see, by people thinking that God is a human being is why I think all of this is happening. Because if that was the case, if God was a human being, then you got to ask yourself, then why is he not here? What human being would allow all of this suffering? And the thing about it is, too, people want to say, we going to hell if we do this wrong, and if we do that wrong, and if we say this, and if we say that, and God going to punish us. But why God not punishing these people who poisoning the air, poisoning the water, poisoning the food, poisoning through genocide, poisoning through diseases and jabs? So why wouldn't God punish them from doing all of this evil that they're doing? Punishing them from MK Ultra programming. You see what I'm saying? It is the spirit that we possess that is connected to God characteristic, the experience of God in the conscious mind. God is consciousness that's connected to the universe, which is intelligence. You see, you got to just sit with that. You got to sit with the fact God is going to come rapture people up. But the story is so confusing. That's why I don't really mess with the Bible, because of the trickery. 2,000 years ago, do people not understand how long planet been here? This planet been here for billions of years. And 2,000 years ago, Jesus' story appeared. But in this story, Jesus only lived for 33 years. And of those 33 years, he only was on his journey preaching and teaching for 3 years. That is so confusing. I don't care what in that Bible. When I narrow down those few things, 2,000 years ago, just 2,000, he only lived 33, and he only journeyed for 3 years before he was dead. In this, you see, we in this bubble people have put us in, that he's going to come back and rapture us up one day. But he's not here yet. People done prayed. People done fast. People done paid tithes. People done paid offering. People done donated. People done volunteered. People done worship. Every year's a new year. And he's still not here. He's still not here. I need to know. See, I need to know what will cause God not to come. So this is when I got to try to make sense of this thing to myself. It's the God in me. That if I do what God characteristics are, that's when God comes. I do not think, I do not know, I do not believe, I don't want to say I do not know, I do not believe This rapture thing. It's impossible. It is absolutely, utterly impossible. And the thing is, to wrap this up for what? People don't want to stop drinking. People don't want to stop fornicating. People don't want to stop lying. People don't want to stop each other. People don't want to stop fighting. People don't want to stop buying, selling, and trading. You see? So what would he come here and rapture us up for? Because we're not doing anything that has anything to do with his characteristic. You see? And if he forgive us, then we forgiven. But then people still go back and do it again because they're forgiven. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. When you get lost in your thoughts and you try to make sense of the stuff that they told you, because it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. If all of us would have a heart, compassion, and sympathy for life, if we would feel what it felt to be treated in a way that we didn't like, but we saw it happening to someone else, and we say to ourselves, what if this was me? I think a lot of people would change, but we're never in the moment. Never in the moment. It's an energy thing. It's a spiritual thing. It's a vibrational thing. It's a magnetic field. Everything is energy and vibration. And everything is connected to all there is. The universe is connected. There's portals. There's dimensions. You know, dying is not dying. Dying is just crossing over into another dimension. Yes, we're going to say Daphne passed away, but the body is gone. But Daphne just went to another dimension that nobody is on. You see, that was left here. But we won't even open up our minds to that. But we open up our minds to we're going to heaven when we die. And we're going to meet our family in heaven. But we burying them in a graveyard. But we won't open up our minds to we're not dying. We're just going into another dimension. We won't open up our minds to our families are still here if we connect with them spiritually. But then we always want to come talk about I miss my mother and my mother this and my dad that and my sister this and my brother and happy heavenly birthday and all of this here. But we can't even open up our minds that if we sit and connect with the spirit, we can connect to our loved ones who have passed away. They're always with us. But see, because we're not open to the spiritual, it's why they don't come around us. You see? We say Jesus is a spirit. And we're praising him in the church. But then to worship you, to put up an altar with your loved ones and pictures and stuff that they had like is voodoo. So again, I think if we start looking at our minds, the way that we think and the way we was programmed to think, if we just would sit with that first, maybe we could see something different. That everything that we had came from somebody. But if they can go get it, why can't we? If they can think the thoughts, why can't we? You know, think about school. They teach teachers what to teach the child in school. Well, where they getting the information from to teach the teacher what to teach your child in school? Then they charge them. Where they getting it from? Where the doctor getting the information from to heal you? That you can't go get it and heal you. Where is information come from? Information is words, letters, numbers. Where is it coming from? It's coming from within us. It's called the Akashic, the magnetic field. The more you raise your vibration, you see, that's that unknown that we're not ready for. It's just that knowing that we will not connect to. Because we've been put so much fear, in us. See beyond the veil. See beyond the illusion that others have given us. The mind is supposed to be free. A spirit is free. A spirit can be right on the side of you. You see? It could be over there in the corner. It could be down. It could be outside. It's free to be wherever it want to be. I haven't talked for a few days because there's nobody here to talk to. And ever since I went through what I went through with the fellow, I kind of shut down because I was trying to see him for who he was and why was he coming at me. But I didn't get triggered. I answered him with yes and no, and I leave that alone. He even kind of one time, and I didn't even get bothered by that. I see him for he experienced the same thing that I experienced. People playing mind games on him. His power was taken from him, and he unconsciously is doing that. But you can't make people aware of what they're doing if they don't want to be aware of what they're doing. So you choose to stay to yourself, and that's what we have to understand. We can't make people be what we want them to be. We got to let people be who they are. Like old folks say, when a person show you who they are, believe them. And I believe people when they show me who they are. And I handle people accordingly when they show me who they are. I don't have to subscribe to anything that I don't want to subscribe to. I get to choose what I want in my life. You see, I get to choose how I want to live my life. If I want to live it in peace or do I want to live it in disharmony. And I don't want to be in disharmony. I know I have to live with people, but I don't have to put up with people. But again, that's where the sacrifice come in, like the man said, everything gonna come with a price. And again, that's why this journey is lonesome, because I choose not to be stressed with the bullshit. If I only have this one life, I don't know how long I'm living it. Nobody knows when they're gonna die. Even when they tell you you're gonna die, you don't know when you're gonna die. You just know that the time is near. So I want to live it in as much peace as I can, because the peace of mind is a wonderful thing. It really is. I'm gonna get on out of here. I'm restricted from Facebook. I had put a picture up there trying to show people what our people experienced in the slavery days of cutting them up and and mutilating them and stuff like that. Until we lose the spirit of fear, our ancestors will never be free of fear. You see, they're back spiritually in the bloodline. And until we face the fears of what we fear in this lifetime, they'll never be free of that. And so Facebook restricted me for, I think it was 28 days or whatever it was. I can't do no lives, but I have this mobile live, something we record, and then I guess you could send it to your YouTube and Facebook. I'm not sure if it's going to go there or not. So again, I really didn't desire to talk after I experienced spiritual attacks in here. I just wanted to just sit with myself, and Christmas was a little bit challenging in the fact that I don't celebrate Christmas, but I was a little bit disappointed. Even though I told my grandkids I don't celebrate Christmas, it don't stop people from thinking about another person during the holiday time. You get what I'm saying? Just because I don't celebrate Christmas should stop people from thinking about me during the holidays. And so again, that was a little bit challenging that they didn't even thought about. They didn't even call Merry Christmas, text it or nothing. Not one person from the family. And I didn't reach out anymore because I always was the person who reached out. And everybody knows what I'm trying to do. Trying to be my best self. I'm trying to find my authenticness. And my family tried to block that. And so I don't reach out to them anymore because they're not supporting what I'm trying to do, you see. And it doesn't mean that I don't love them, but again, when a person they are, believe them, they don't want to support me and me trying to find me and my authenticity, then I would have to handle them with a long handle cookie spoon, because that would be meaning that I will put them before I put me, and I'm not about to do that with nobody. It is about myself growth, my soul salvation, because I can only say, you see, I can only fix me. Nobody can fix me. So again, it wasn't too much about the holidays, because it doesn't feel like holidays anymore, because people don't have the money. Like, they just keep on putting on this cat and dog show and spending this money that they don't have and stressing their own selves out and making it about the children. Children are innocent and naive. Y'all children hear about Christmas and having this and having that, what you want and make your list and all that. If y'all wouldn't have planted those seeds, those children would have never been accustomed to Christmas, Santa Claus, and none of that stuff. So just like we told them how to get into Christmas, we can tell them how to get out, because when mom and dad say something, that's all. Baby, look, we're not going to celebrate Christmas anymore because we found out they lied to us. Santa Claus is not real. So we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to make up us a holiday, Children are not going to argue with y'all, but no lying to them about Christmas. Children are going to be children. So again, I think it's the little girl and the little boy and us. We lied to our children knowing it was a lie because we didn't get to enjoy, you know, the Christmas that we wanted to have when we were kids. Simple as that. But I'm going to get on out of here. I was just rambling a little bit since my throat chakra, as you can see, I'm trying to clear it up. My throat chakra, been closed, but that was because I chose to do it because as a matter of fact, I usually go to Walmart on Friday, but I didn't even go to there. I think I'm going to go tomorrow and pick up a few little things or what have you. I just been down low as far as my vocal cord, just thinking a lot, just relaxing and, staying in peace and quiet and just not being alarmed by anything because what's going to be, going to be. And if we was in control, we would have better control of things, and we're not. So we have to learn from everything that we're experiencing and just go with the flow of it and make the best out of it and learn from each thing, everything that we experience. So I'm going to get on out of here. I love y'all. Namaste.